Why would he do it? Why would he do it? Certainly since he left Florida and he left the Ohio State University, and he's talking about health issues. Wanted to be with family. Remember that Florida, he wants to be with family, and then he winds up at Ohio State. Right. And then he winds up at Ohio State, and then it's something going on with his health of his head. And so why would he mess with this, right? Why would he do that? Well, two things. One, it's difficult to get coaching out of your blood. It really is. And two, don't forget, there were it's extenuating circumstances why he left both Florida and Ohio State at the time.
Right.
Okay? And so why would he leave the comfort of the Fox studio where he wins every weekend? Okay? And I saw him at the last couple of Super Bowls, and he looked like a guy who did not have a care on planet Earth. Not a care in the world. If you are considering coming back to coaching, you have to look in the NFL. If you're trying to go to the NFL for the first time, if you're thinking of going to the NFL for the first time, you have to think hard. Is the current spot where you are working better than going in the NFL and the rigors of all of that? Well, if you put that down on a piece of paper, where he's working right now, he wins every weekend. Where he's going to, he does not. Okay? If you're Ryan Day, who's rumored to have been asked to interview for the head coaching job at Philadelphia, do you stay at Ohio State, where you are probably paid a very pretty penny, akin to what you'd be paid as an NFL head coach? Back in the day, NFL head coaches used to get paid more than college. That's no longer the case. But do you stay at a spot where you can get 5 first-round picks at every position every year of your own choosing? You can stockpile them. Do you get to stay there, or do you want to go to a spot where you only get one of those a year, if you're lucky, and you could win a Super Bowl? How great is that? But then do you want to go to a spot where you win a Super Bowl and 3 years later you're fired?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or do you stay at a spot where you're already the king, and you will be the king for as long as you want to be? That's why Ryan Day's telling the Philadelphia Eagles no. Plus, there's also the quarterback situation. Does he want to go there, and does he want to be the one to figure out the Wentz-Hurts thing? Right? That's, again, the reason why I wanted the Jets to do what they should have done, which is get the first overall spot, so they have people who would be wanting to work for the Jets because Trevor Lawrence is coming. Now you say for the Jets, like, hey, you want to come here and you're going to have to be the one to figure out Darnold or whatever. I mean, it's not like an impossible thing to figure out. You can still figure it out, but it's cut and dried for Urban Meyer. You go to Jacksonville. You get the supremely talented Trevor Lawrence. You get to choose your general manager. You get a roster that is young, with a lot of young players, that also has cap space the size of some small nation's gross national product. And you have an owner who's not going anywhere. And you have a state where there's no state tax coming out of your salary. That's the only reason why Urban Meyer is even thinking of going here, unless there's something else. And here's what the something else might be as he's writing down pros and cons on a piece of paper. Right now, he is known as one of the greatest college football coaches in the history of college football, correct?
Yes.
But who's the greatest 100%. Coach in the history of college football?
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban.
Okay, it's not Urban Meyer, right? Where did Nick Saban go and did not succeed?
Miami.
In the NFL, right?
Miami Dolphins.
Right. State of Florida, NFL.
State of Florida.
Okay. So he can go to the state of Florida and prove that he can do it, right? Okay, that's another thing. 2, I don't know where the College Football Hall of Fame is.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Thank you, sir. Where one day Urban's going in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Will Urban go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, in his beloved state of Ohio? Will he go in there?
No.
Okay. What's the way for him to actually go there? Go to the NFL.
Coach in the NFL, win some titles.
Correct. And if he does that, will he be known as a better, greater coach than Nick Saban?
100%.
Not necessarily.
He wins the Super Bowl for the Jacksonville Jaguars once, if not twice. Just again, this is what the Jacksonville Jaguars and Urban are thinking together while they're sipping whatever they're sipping on Shad Khan's, can't even call it a boat, right?
Kismet.
Thank you, sir.
It's actually for sale.
Very good. Oh, okay.
Yeah, $120 million.
Out of your price range, right?
Yeah, I mean a little above.
But see what I'm saying? Like you don't have these conversations and not think big. So in theory, in ultimate obvious success, not one, but multiple championships for Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars and Urban Meyer. Multiple.
Say two.
It'll take some time, clearly, if he does it. This is a huge hypothetical. If he does it, okay, what about Urban Meyer's legacy? If he does it, you win 2 championships, you're eligible to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Right? If you win it twice, you go and you have a talk about being a gold jacket and a bust. Right now, Urban Meyer can sit in the Fox studio and talk about how great Nick Saban is and talk about how Ryan Day has taken his program to potentially new heights, which deep down he would love to have because he loves the Buckeyes. He could sit in the studio in Los Angeles and talk about, hey, Dabo Swinney's got another one. He can make a lot of money, and he can do whatever he'd like to do and not get the stress of football coaching. That's true. What's the alternative? Take this job, win championships, and be known as I lifted the glass egg, and I lifted the piece of Tiffany that's the Lombardi Trophy. I did both. Guess who didn't? Nick Saban. Guess who hasn't? Also, Bill Belichick. This is his way of getting to be placed on the Mount Rushmore of coaches. You could sit here and say what he did in Florida and what he did at Ohio State. He had a good staff. He got good guy, whatever. You could, whatever. If you want to denigrate his resume, have at it. I won't. I had 7 Thanksgiving weekends ruined by this man. Wrecked my buffet.
I was just going to say.
So,
he wrecked.
But if he does that and then goes to the NFL and wins with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the opportunity to do it is again set up. He's got a generationally talented unicorn already. It's placed in his hands. That's yours, Urban. General manager. Let's talk about it. Who do you want? Cap space. Quality of life in terms of the Florida lifestyle that he and his wife have obviously had before. I mean, it makes complete sense why he would attempt to do it. It's a very, very tough road for him to traverse successfully, but if he does it, and he's standing there with a bust and maybe whoever, his wife and he pull the cloth back and there's Urban's bust, or he and Zeke Elliott pull back the cloth and he does the OH thing just like, Chris Carter was able to do. I mean, that's why he's got to be thinking about doing this. Because other than that, he's sitting in the stands looking up and watching his Buckeyes go in, sitting there wondering like, could that have been me? He's got to sit there and think about that because the opportunity's there. Laugh all you want about Jacksonville. Don't laugh. Okay? Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.